If you are alone tonight, you might want to stop watching now. The Forest That Never Lets You Go. This is a terrifying story about a haunted forest, which I heard from the family of the person who experienced it himself. The forest stretches from Blackmoor village to Ravenwood town. It is believed that countless dangerous animals and evil spirits live deep inside this forest. This time, I had gone to Ravenwood during the Raksha Band and Festival to visit my sister. The locals there often talked about the forest, saying that ghosts and evil entities roam freely within it. I have always believed in ghosts and spirits, and perhaps you do too. On August 15th, I went to my brother-in-law's college. People there respectfully called him Professor Adrian. After the Independence Day program ended, we were about to leave when a neighbor invited us to his house for tea. We accepted the invitation, and while chatting, he began narrating a horrifying incident. He said, "A few days ago, something terrible happened to my son. Ryan, it's difficult to even describe it." Ryan's father continued, "One day, I fell seriously ill. Because of that, I asked Ryan to go into the forest to collect fodder for our goats. Ryan occasionally went to the forest, but he usually tried to avoid work. That day, however, he had no choice. As he walked along the familiar path, he couldn't find fodder nearby because most of the trees closer to the village had already been cut. So he went deeper into the forest. Soon he reached a very dense part of the jungle where trees stood close together. The forest was so thick that the sky was completely hidden. It was the rainy season, and heavy rainfall had made the forest lush and green. Clear water flowed over the rocks like a natural spring, cascading down from the hills. The cool atmosphere washed away his tiredness. Ryan decided to rest for a while before cutting leaves and heading back home. As he slept, he had a strange dream. In the dream, he saw that he had wandered too far into the forest and had lost his way. Suddenly, someone stood in front of him. The moment he saw the figure's face, his eyes flew open in fear. Now awake, he felt extremely uneasy but continued cutting fodder. The memory of the dream kept haunting him. The sun was slowly setting and the forest was growing darker. He couldn't hear any human voices nearby. As he hurriedly gathered the leaves, he suddenly heard voices to people talking to each other. Relieved, he thought they must be villagers and that he could follow them back home. He quickly tied the fodder and walked toward the voices, without realizing whether he was moving in the right direction or deeper into the forest. The voices became clearer as he moved forward. Soon he saw two people standing with their backs turned toward him. He approached them and asked, "Can you tell me a shorter path to the village?" The moment he spoke, both figures vanished into thin air as if they had never existed. Ryan broke into a cold sweat and collapsed unconscious. When he regained consciousness, he saw the same terrifying figure from his dream standing right in front of him. It had huge red eyes, sharp teeth sticking out, and a horrifying appearance from head to toe. Terrified, Ryan ran blindly through the forest. Suddenly, a bear charged toward him and leapt at him. He thought this was the end. His senses failed him, and he collapsed to the ground. But the moment the bear landed, it transformed into a human-like creature. Its cheeks were sunken, arms twisted, legs bent backward, with a long beard and torn lips exposing sharp teeth. Ryan stared at the creature, completely paralyzed. His mind stopped working and he collapsed again. Back at home, his family grew anxious as darkness fell and Ryan still hadn't returned. His elder brother, Daniel, who was disabled and walked with one leg, said he should be back by now. By 10 p.m., everyone realized something was wrong. A group of villagers gathered with sticks, spears, and torches and went into the forest to search for him. Daniel stayed back with his mother and sister, as his father insisted he shouldn't come. They searched the forest all night but found no trace of Ryan. By 4 a.m., they decided not to go deeper into the dense jungle and waited for daylight. At sunrise, they resumed the search, shouting, "Ryan, Ryan!" But Ryan, exhausted from hunger and thirst, had completely lost his senses. He no longer knew where he was. 2 days passed and there was still no sign of him. Daniel remained helpless and restless, unable to do anything, only waiting, praying and fearing the worst.